Good morning and Sairam to all my dear and lovely students. I hope that you all are in good health and taking care of yourself and of your hygiene. Students, I also hope that you all have started revising whatever have been taught to you before summer vacations. If not, then start revising. So, let us begin with our today's class. As you all know that in the last video we have completed the third chapter of New Voices, that is the meeting pool by Ruskin Bond. We have completed the explanation of that chapter. Now today in this video we are going to start with the second lesson of the grammar, that is transformation of sentences. Before knowing how to transform the sentences from one form to another, let us know what is a sentence. So students, sentence is a group of words that is arranged in a proper order and gives a complete meaning is called a sentence. So whenever we try to arrange the words in a very proper manner or in a sequence, and after arranging them they give us a complete meaning, a complete sense, that is known as sentence. For example, if I say I am your teacher, now from this sentence you get to know that I am your teacher. But if I'll say teacher your am I, do you get to know what did I said? Or if I say I your teacher am, did you got to know what I said? No. Why? Because I have not arranged the words in a proper manner. I have not arranged the word in such a way that they try to give a meaning to you. But if I will arrange these words in a very proper manner, like I am your teacher, from this sentence you will get to know that yes, she is our teacher. How? Because I have arranged the word in such a manner that you get to know the complete sense of that sentence. And that is the main essence of the sentence, that if you will arrange the words in a proper sequence, they will give you a complete meaning. I hope you understand that what is a sentence. Always remember that sentence is made up of different parts. You must have read about nouns, adjective, verb, but today we are going to know one thing more about sentences. So let us begin with that. So here, as you can see, that the sentence is given that Delhi is the capital of India. Now, the sentence is made up of the subject and the predicate. So, what is subject and what is predicate? Let us see that with the help of examples. Like if I am saying Ram is a football player. Now in a sentence, subject is the one about whom we are talking. In a sentence, subject is the thing about whom we are talking. Here in this sentence we are talking about Ram. We are talking about Ram, so he becomes the subject. And whatever we are talking about him or whatever we are telling about him, that's become the predicate. So here we are saying that Ram is a football player. So this becomes the predicate. Now let us see one more example. The next example is monkey ate bananas. So here we are talking about monkey. So he becomes the subject in the sentence. Always remember, in a sentence, the subject is the one about whom we are talking, and the predicate is the thing whatever we are telling about him. Here in this sentence we are saying, or we are telling, that monkey ate bananas. So what he ate? He ate bananas. That become the predicate, and ate here is the verb. I hope that you have understood what is subject and what is predicate. Like in the last slide, we have seen that here the example is Delhi is the capital of India. So we are talking about Delhi. So that becomes the subject here. It becomes the subject here. And about whom we are telling, what we are telling, that it is the capital of India. This becomes the predicate. So when the subject is the name or the thing about whom we are talking, about whom we are telling something, and predicate is the thing whatever we are telling about that thing. Like in the second example, you can see that Manohar is the captain of the team. So here we are talking about Manohar. We are talking about Manohar. So he becomes the subject of the sentence. And what we are telling about him? That he is the captain of the team. That became the predicate. Now I hope that you have understood what is subject and what is predicate and what is sentence. Now, after reading the definition of the sentence and what is subject and predicate, let us see how many types of sentences are there. In total, there are 4 types of sentences. The first type is declarative or assertive sentence. Second, interrogative. Third, imperative. And fourth, exclamatory. Now, one by one, we will read about them. What is assertive or declarative sentences? Assertive or declarative sentences are a type of statement which give information about something or some action. They can be positive as well as negative. Like whenever I tell, for example, assertive sentences are those sentences which give information. If I say he is standing, that means I am giving you information that that boy is standing. If I am saying that he is not eating his food, I am informing you that he is not eating his food. So any sentence which give us information, that is known as assertive or declarative sentence. Like for example, as it is given here, children love to eat chocolate. This is a positive sentence because this sentence is telling that almost every child love to eat chocolates. And it can be negative also, like children do not love to eat chocolate. So in this sentence they are saying that they don't love to eat chocolate. So remember that assertive or declarative sentences are those sentences which give us information about anything or about any action. It can be positive or it can be negative. Now move on to the next sentence. That is interrogative sentence. From the name itself we get to know interrogative means question. Interrogative sentences are those sentences that make question sense. Where do you live? Do you read books? Do you eat chocolate? Do you eat this? Do you love games? So all these questions are interrogative sentences. Remember this, in interrogative sentences we ask question. Any question is an interrogative sentence. I hope you understand this. Now the next sentence is imperative sentence. Imperative sentence. Imperative sentence are the sentences that express order, command, instruction, advice, and request, and they always begin with the verb. Like if I'm ordering you, go and sit, don't talk. So they always start with the verb, and they are known as the commanding sentence. When we command someone, when we give instruction, don't do this, don't do that, that is known as your imperative sentences, where a person is giving command, instruction, advice, or request. Please don't do this. If I am taking an example, like for a request, please don't do this. Help the needy and the poor. I'm advising you that you should help the needy and the poor. So this sentence becomes the imperative sentence, where a person commands, give order, give you instruction, and at times they advise you or request you. That type of sentences are known as imperative sentences. For example, bring the paper. Here I am telling you to bring the paper, and it is also starting with the verb. Bring is the verb, and imperative sentence always start with the verb. Second example, stand in the queue. Now it also start with the verb stand. Help the needy and poor. The third example also start with the verb, that is help. So always remember, imperative sentences are the orders, command, instruction, advice, request, and they always begin with the verb. Now the last type of sentence is exclamatory sentences. These sentences are used to show internal emotions or abstract feelings through like for example, these sentences are used to show the feelings. Wow, hooray, shit. So these are the types of emotions. When we win any game, we say hooray, we conquered, we win. Shit, I did wrong. So these type of emotions are expressed through exclamatory sentences. Now we will there are certain things that you have to remember, that declarative or assertive sentence ends with a full stop. Interrogative sentence end with a question mark. Imperative sentence end with the full stop, and exclamatory sentence ends with the exclamation mark. You have seen exclamation mark, which is like this. So this is the exclamation mark. Now today in this video we are going to see first kind of interchange of sentences, that is how we can interchange or how we can transform sentence from exclamatory to assertive sentence. There are 3 rules to transform this sentence. One by one we will read those. The first rule says that exclamatory sentence which start with how or what. In these sentence, how or what are replaced by subject and use very before adjective to interchange exclamatory sentence into assertive sentence. So here the first rule says that if any exclamatory sentence start with how or what, then we will remove how or what and write the subject instead of that and use very in the sentence. Let us see this with the help of example. Now for the first example says that how foolish I have been. So what rule number 1 have said that instead of how we will write the subject. So here instead of how we will write subject. What is subject? I is the subject. You can see in the sentence, I have been foolish. Again, I'm writing for you. So here you can see that instead, the rule number 1 said, instead of how and what, we have to write the subject. If I read this example number 1 says, how foolish I have been. So here, about whom we are talking? In this sentence, I am talking about myself, that is I. So I is the subject. So what we will do? We will write I first. Then we will write I have been very. We have to add very foolish in front of the adjective. So what the sentence became? I have been very foolish. Now let us see the next example. The next example is, so here in the next sentence, that is, what a dangerous thing a little knowledge is. Here, instead of what, when we have to change an exclamatory sentence into assertive sentence, that what we have to do now, we have to just remove what. Here we will remove what, and we will first write the subject. So after reading the sentence, what a dangerous thing a little knowledge is, we get to know that the subject is a little knowledge. So first we will write the subject, a little knowledge. Now the helping verb is a very, because it is said in the rule number 1 that in before any adjective we have to add the word very. So we are adding very before adjective, that is dangerous thing, and now the sentence become a little knowledge is a very dangerous thing. Let me explain you again. In rule number 1 it is said that instead of how and what, we have to first write the subject. After subject, when we will write the helping verb, we will add very in front of the adjective, and then the sentence will change into assertive sentence, that is giving us any information. You all must be remembering that assertive sentences are those sentences which give us information of any action of or of anything. So in the first example, as we can see that the sentence is how foolish I have been. So first we will remove how, then we will first write the subject, that is I have been, helping verb, foolish. Foolish is adjective, but in rule number 1 it is said that before the adjective we have to add very. So now this exclamatory sentence changes into assertive sentence, that is I have been very foolish. Now I hope that you have understood rule number 1, that how you can change exclamatory sentence into assertive sentence. Now move on to the second part. The rule number 2 says, I wish is used to interchange sentences which start with O, would, if, etc. That means rule number 2 says that instead of O, would, if, we have to remove all these words from the exclamatory sentence, and instead of that we have to write I wish. Like for example, an exclamatory sentence is given, oh, that I were a child again. Now what we have to do? We have to remove O from the sentence. When we will remove O from the sentence become, I wish that I were a child again. Now the second sentence is, would that I got success. Instead of would, what we will do first? We will remove would, and instead of would we will write I wish. In place of would we will write I wish, and the sentence become, I wish that I had got success. Now this is very easy. I hope that you have understood that instead of o, would, if, all these things we have to write I wish, and you can easily change the sentence from exclamatory to assertive. Now the last rule is, the sentence which start with alas, hooray, bravo are replaced if they have to be replaced. So always remember that whenever we are changing exclamatory into assertive, we have to replace the words. Like in the rule number 1, we have to remove how and what, and we added very, and the sentence have to start with the subject. Rule number 2, if it is written oh, what, would, if, all these words are removed, and instead of them I wish has to be written there. Now rule number 3 also says the same thing, that if it is written alas, hooray, bravo, then what you have to do? You have to remove these words, and instead of that, instead of alas, you will write it is sad. Hooray, you will write it is matter of joy. Bravo, you will write it is matter of praise. So whenever you are sad, you will say, alas, I have lost the battle. Now what you will do? You will first remove alas, and what you write? It is sad. It is sad that we have lost the battle. If it is written hooray, instead of hooray is used when we are very happy. So what we have to do? You have to remove hooray, and you will write it is matter of joy that my sister won the prize. Now last example you can see of bravo. Bravo is used when we are praising someone. When we are appreciating someone for something, then we use bravo. Bravo, you have scored the first position. Now you have to remove the bravo if you are changing the sentence. When you will remove bravo, what you will write? It is matter of praise that you have secured the first position. So I can say that rule number 2 and 3 are very easy, because you just have to remove the words from the exclamatory sentence, and instead of those words you have to just add a new word which is given there. You have to remember, like for alas you will write it is sad. For hooray you will write it is matter of joy. For bravo you will write it is matter of praise. Now again in the second rule we read that oh, would, if, all this word will be replaced by only one word, that is I wish. So it becomes very easy to change the sentence by replacing the words by the group of words. Now this is all about your chapter, all about the first part of this chapter, that is we learned today that how to change the sentence from exclamatory to assertive. In the next video we will learn more other rules of changing the sentences. Now for today you have a homework that you have to do page number 24, 26 and 29 in your book. In your grammar book you have to do the exercises based on whatever I have taught you today in this video. I hope that you have understood this rules or this transformation of sentences, and if not, please I request to repeat these video again and again and see the video again and again and try to practice as much as you can. Thank you, students.